Tron Legacy in 3D, a 2010 Disney release, a sequel to the 1982 Tron movie starring Jeff Bridges, Bruce Boxleitner, Garrett Hedlund, Olivia Wilde. So, did this sequel live up to the hype? Did it live up to the original Tron? Did it do it justice? Absolutely. This is probably one of the most underrated movies of all time. I'm going to say that again. This is probably the most underrated movies of all time. So what happened? It got a lackluster reception at the box office. They canceled it. They were going to do a third one. They canceled it. And you know what? They should have canceled it. Because how can you come back after doing such a marvelous sequel and try to get anything better? This is absolutely an incredible movie, incredible soundtrack, incredible 3D, the story, everything. So let's talk about this a little bit. Let me just say this. If you just walked in, probably what happened, I'm just going to surmise this. A lot of people walked in, oh, Tron, it's a movie about a video game and light cycles, let's go watch it. And they walk out with a lackluster review. If you don't go back, and if you don't look into the old Tron so that you know what's happening here, if you don't know who Flynn is, if you don't know who the character Clue is, if you don't know who the character Tron is, if you don't know what a program is, if you don't know what a user is, if you don't know all these things from the original Tron, you're not going to be able to appreciate this movie the way it needs to be appreciated. You're going to walk out like anybody else, say, oh, it's pretty cool, it looked really great. But when you know, and you're going into this movie, listen, this takes place 8 years after the original. Flynn's sitting on his bed talking to his son, telling him I'm on the brink of something spectacular. But I'm going to go away tonight, we'll come back, we'll play some video games, slips him a quarter, and never comes back. Then the movie fast forwards 20 years later, his son's the head of the corporation. He doesn't really care, he's cutting up, he's getting arrested. And then he gets a page. If you can imagine what a pager is, if you remember what a pager was, you get a page. Supposedly it's from his dad to come to the old arcade. And he gets back to the old arcade and he sits in front of this computer and he gets sucked into the grid. Just like his father was. His father's trapped in the grid. Gets sucked into the grid. And he meets his father. But he meets a lot of other characters, and I'm not going to spoil the movie for you. Watch the trailer. Go watch the trailer. I'm mainly here to talk to you about the emotional aspect of this movie, the 3D of this movie. This is a great emotional family-son element here. Incredible family-son element. You really get to feel that bond that they had when he was younger, and has it again. There's some things at the end here that's just going to rip your heart out. I mean, it's just an amazing father-son experience. Olivia Wilde plays a great part. Let me tell you about the 3D. You know, they say in the beginning of the movie, keep your 3D glasses on. Some of these scenes are not in 3D. Well, when it does come to 3D, man, it pops in. And that was the whole purpose of it. They're telling you, keep them on, keep your glasses on, but when it comes in, it's coming in, and it really does. And also you're going to get the black intermittent bars, top and bottom. But I'd say the second half of this movie is IMAX. Incredible depth in the 3D, incredible colors. You will get pop-outs. There's some things that make you jump. This was at the height of the 3D. The light cycles, light racing is incredible. The disc battles are incredible, and they're battling with the discs. Just incredible stuff. The flight scenes at the end. One of my favorite things on the 3D on this is when they get on that cargo ship at the end and they're sailing across the digital sea and Flynn's sitting on the deck and just looking out in the distance. Looking out in the distance across the grid. The way the clouds were. And the whole thing has an ambiance to it. There's an ambiance to this world that, when you're sitting here watching it, you kind of feel like you're down under the earth somewhere inside of a computer. You really feel that. There's no sun, there's no outside shots. And because of that, it's a little dark, especially when you got your 3D glasses on. It's a little dark, but you get used to that. You get that feeling like you feel safe. I don't know how else to say it, but it's an experience in itself. I mentioned the music. The music's fantastic. The acting's good. I know there was some mention about the CGI with Jeff Bridges' face. You know what? You get over that real quick. You really do. You really do. You can't take anything away from this movie. Make sure you know what you're getting into. Make sure you do your homework before you sit down and watch this movie, and then you'll agree with me. Now, I'm going to apologize. I got a cold. I'm trying to get over my cold. I want to tell you this. I will be going back and rebooting my entire 3D collection. I'll be talking about that. I picked up a lot more titles. So Tron 3D, picked it up for $8 in a Goodwill store. What do you think of that? Okay. So what'd you think of the movie? Did you see it? Did you see it 3D? Leave some comments below. Let me know. Hit like and subscribe. Have a good night and God bless.